What is the best way to remove tree sap? Let's find out. Tree sap. Tree sap is one of the worst and most difficult things to remove from your paint surface. But I'm going to give you some tips on how to remove it safely and effectively. So first thing you want to do is wash the car, obviously. So this whole vehicle was already washed, scrubbed down safely, of course, and I use a 1900 PSI pressure washer. Now you don't have to use a pressure washer and try to get any of these spots off. And you definitely don't want to go too crazy with it because you can risk damaging the paint. So you do have to be very careful. You have to use a low PSI pressure washer. But as you can see here, this spot here, this was a big blob of it. It was a fresh spot, or at least a more fresh spot compared to some of the other spots on the car. And now that is one less glob, thick glob that we have to work through with a chemical. Now usually my go-to chemical to remove any type of tree sap is Tar X by CarPro. Now that is a great product that makes removing sap and other tar-like substances very, very easy to remove. However, I don't have that on hand today. I have had quite a few sap removal jobs lately. I've been having a little bit of trouble getting my hands on more Tar X, so today I'll be using rubbing alcohol. Rubbing alcohol is not my first choice, but it does work and it still gets the job done. Now, obviously, the stronger the solution, such as let's say this was 90% or 99, I'm not sure how high they make it, the more effective it's going to be. This is all I could get my hands on, so this is what we're using. So you want to saturate a towel, literally soak it, especially for situations like this. And as you can see here, I'm just going to sit here, let this kind of dwell, and it's going to soften up these spots and dissolve it. Just like that. Also, you can see a lot of these spots are very flat, which is a good thing because usually if you have thick, round blobs of tree sap, that makes it much more difficult to remove. And that's simply just because you have more sap to work through to reveal the paint underneath. And as you're rubbing, if you feel any stubborn spots that just seem to not be dissolving, again, just hold the towel or your rag over it for a couple seconds, and that'll usually soften it up quite a bit. So as you can see, we already have this whole spot completely clear. Now, usually when using rubbing alcohol or any other type of sap removal chemical or cleaner, you're going to be left with some type of haziness behind. You can follow up with a quick detailer, but ideally you'd want to give the whole area a nice little polish by machine using a very mild compound or light polish that will enhance the shine and remove the haziness, and you'll have a nicer looking finish than you did before. All right, so polished and waxed, this is what we are left with. A lot of scratches and swirl marks removed, tree sap removed, marring and hazing from removing the tree sap is removed, and the paint looks awesome.